Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanute Devi Pranamami Sasuru Manjara Kalpatarubhesha Vipasindhu Devacha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Mukam Karoti Vacharam Tatripadam Hamvande Sri Guru Vivatani Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudira Nashtaprayeshu Bhadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavatu Shreshi Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaya Hare Krishna. So welcome to the complete session of this unit, or this batch. We are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, prayers by Queen Kunti. And we discussed how Krishna is about to leave after everything appears to be settled. Uttara comes running, saying that some weapon is coming to harm the child in the womb. Please save him. And then Krishna enters. Krishna is outside, but at the same time he enters the womb also and protects the child. And that is where Parikshit Maharaj had his first darshan of the Lord. And when he came out, then he was trying to see whether he's the same person whom he saw inside. So every person you look at him, then not this one, not this one. So we're doing Pariksha for everyone. And then Kunti Maharani being very overwhelmed, remembering all the different ways in which Lord has offered them protection. So she became overwhelmed and she started offering her devotion in the form of prayers. So she says that I bow down to you who are Namaste Purushantu Adyam Ishwaro Bhakte. So she offers him praises. And then she also discusses who can know him, who cannot know him. And then she discusses about the Kala form, time form of the Supreme Lord. Then she discusses why the Lord appears and what are the different reasons which people ascribe why he appears. Whether he comes to protect the Yadu dynasty or whether Brahmaji prayed, that's why he came to establish Dharma. All these reasons are there. Finally, she says that he comes to give pleasure to his devotees. He comes to perform the pastime with his devotees so that they can participate and others can hear about them in the future and become attracted to take part in that fate. So then she offered that beautiful prayer that how one should do what happens. Shanvanti Gayanti Grananti Abhikshanti Smaranti Nandanti Tave Hitam Jana Eva Pashyati Acharena Tavakam Bhava Pravaho Param Padam. So those who continuously hear, chant and repeat the transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see a lotus feet which alone can stop the repetition of birth. As Srila Prabhupada puts a very heavy emphasis on hearing from the right sources. When hear from the right sources, acts very quickly. That's why one should select a competent, bona fide spiritual master and hear from him. And there are many other transcendental activities like Shravanam Kirtan or other activity, but they are all competent to bestow the desired result provided the hearing process is perfect. So One must hear about the Lord from the very beginning, and this will help the hearer attain a perfection like progressive development. And once he says that Lord dealing with Pandavas are as important as dealing with the Gopis. We should not jump on that. So now she is saying that we are happy seeing you and we suffer on not seeing you. So now we are seeing you, the time of happiness was there, and now that you are going, the time of suffering has arrived. Apyadyanastam swakrate hita prabhu vihasasi svit suhrido anujivvina yesham na chanyadvatah padambuja parayanam raja suyojitam hasam.
O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are, are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all things are at enmity with us.
Yeah. So she's asking the Lord, now you're leaving us. And Prabhupada's purport depends on dependence. I mean, it discusses about the dependence on the Lord. Pandavas are most fortunate because they were entirely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. In the material world, to be dependent on the mercy of someone else is the utmost sign of misfortune. But in the case of our transcendental relationship with the Lord, it is the most fortunate case when we can live completely dependent on Him. So the whole purport is based on this theme of dependence on the Lord is glorious. Material world, everyone waits for the day. कब वो दिन आएगा जब मैं मेरे पैरों पर खड़ा हूँ, जब मेरे पास कुछ अधिकार आएगा, हाथ में कुछ शक्ति आएगा, अकाउंट में कुछ पैसा आएगा. These are all things which make one feel independent. Especially if one has bodily strength, if one has money in pocket, one has some skill or intelligence, one feels very proud of it. So material disease is due to thinking of becoming independent of everything. But still everyone is dependent. The illusion is that everyone thinks that he is independent, but everyone is dependent. Nobody can be totally independent. The false attempt to become independent of the stringent laws of material nature is known as material advancement of experimental knowledge. They're trying to be. गर्मी बढ़ गया तो हर जगह एसी लगाओ. कितना जगह एसी लगाओ? कार में एसी, लिफ्ट में एसी, घर में एसी, रूम, ऑफिस में एसी. लेकिन एसी को साथ में लेकर तो नहीं जाएंगे. कार से उतरना पड़ेगा, मार्केट जाना पड़ेगा. You can't avoid that. And AC runs on electricity. Now what if storm comes और electricity का पोल ही भर गया तो फिर AC का इन्वर्टर कितना चलाएगा? So people are thinking that they're becoming independent, they can counteract the onslaught of material nature, but actually that is foolishness. We may counteract heat by, say, air conditioner, but then air conditioner is dependent on electricity. Electricity depends on many other things. So that is why there is no independence. It's a false sense of independence. Whole material world is moving on this false attempt of becoming independent of the laws of nature. Beginning from Ravana, who wanted to prepare direct staircase to the planet of heaven down to the present age, they are trying to overcome the laws of nature. But the highest goal of human civilization is to work hard under the guidance of the Lord and become completely dependent on Him. So it looks like a two kind of opposition. I'm dependent and I work hard. If I'm dependent, then whomsoever I'm dependent, he has to work hard. Why should I work hard? If I'm not the doer, why should I do anything? Right? If I'm not the doer, I'm not the enjoyer of the fruits. By my doing nothing happens, doesn't matter. And why should I do at all? Right? If you join a company and the company says only two conditions, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. And you're not going to get any salary. But you can come and do something in the company. Whatever. Anybody join them? First thing, company looks at what you are going to do. And person also, what is my job profile? What kind of project I will be into? And then second thing is, what is the package? So without work, without package, why will anybody engage in anything? That's the question. But there's another scenario in which a person engages in activity, without having a very rigid job description and without getting any payment. What is that state?
Love.
Love, out of love. No? Mother is busy whole day in the home. You're not like a maid servant who says, इतना पोछा लगाया, इतना मेरे, इतना नहीं. दो दिन में 2 बार पोछा लगाना है तो इतना पैसा होगा. 2 लोगों का कुकिंग का इतना पैसा, 4 लोगों का कुकिंग का इतना पैसा. Right? So, then out of love also one functions for the pleasure of beloved. That is bhakti. Bhakti means that the intention or the purpose behind activity is not to gain something, but is to please someone. Oftentimes we do something to gain something as a result. But the process of bhakti is not to gain something, but is to please someone. And that is why, pleasing the spiritual master, pleasing the Vaishnava is such a often repeated and, emphasized concept. Whom are we trying to please? So we try to please Krishna. Some say there Hari Toshanam. But then Hari is so far, then okay, Guru comes. Guru shows the way how to please Hari. And Guru is also not accessible. The Vaishnavas are all around us. They are the confirmed sources. We are going in the right direction. Jayadvaita Maharaj was giving a class in Vrindavan, and the very often asked question, frequently asked question, how do I know if I'm pleasing a spiritual master? Because his pleasure is the basis of my spiritual progress. How do I really know? Practically every spiritual master has been asked this question. So Jayadvaita Maharaj said, I was there and Srila Prabhupada was asked the same question. And Srila Prabhupada was told to that devotee, why would only you know? The whole world will know. Not only you know, the whole world will know. So, further, how is it? He says, if the Vaishnavas with whom you are staying and serving, if they all are happy and pleased with you, then your spiritual master is happy with you and Krishna is pleased with you. So Jayadvaita Maharaj put it, a person is there in the class, first hand hearing. So that's why the concept of pleasing Hari Guru Vaishnava is giving so much of importance. And if you have to please them, you have to know what pleases them, what way we should deal, what way we should act, what we should do, what we should not do. It becomes very personalized. There's nothing like logical. Na? I want to please a person, then you ask, what would you like to have? What should I cook for you? It is not that whatever I know, I'll cook and then you have to eat and you have to say it's very good. No. Now you have your choice as an individual. You may like pizza, you may like pasta, you may like idli, or you may like paratha. Individual, right? If you ask here, what are your favorite sweet or favorite item? Hardly 2 devotees will match. Because so much variety is there, no? Somebody says son papdi, somebody says black wala, gulab jamun, somebody says cham cham. so like that, different devotees based on different background, have their different favorite, and you want to please them. That is what pleases them the most. Right? So that is where the personal part comes. That is where the relation comes in picture. That's where the dependence comes in picture. So the highest goal of human civilization is to work hard under the guidance of the Lord and become completely dependent. The highest achievement of perfect civilization is to work with valor, but at the same time depend completely on the Lord. You see, work hard, work with valor, with all skill, but depend on the Lord. Not easy. When we work hard, we develop expectations of what should be the result. And when, we are not like bothered about result, then we lose the impetus to work hard also. So the Pandavas were the ideal executor of this standard of civilization. They were completely dependent on the goodwill of the Lord, but they were not ideal parasites on the Lord. They were all highly qualified, both by personal character and by physical activity. Still, they always looked for the mercy of the Lord because they knew that every living being is dependent by constitutional position. The perfection of life is therefore to become dependent on the will of the Lord instead of becoming falsely independent in the material world. This is Krishna Maharaj. Be Ma Manushma Yuddha. Remember me and fight. Take responsibility and depend. Taking responsibility does not become independent, and being dependent does not mean to forego responsibility. It is not karmavad, where it says, I am the doer. Whatever I do happens. 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration is what has made me successful. Because it's karmavad. I am the doer. I do by my hard work. So that is karma. Therefore, we don't need to do anything at all. Whenever the Lord will desire, the mercy will fall on us, and then everything else will happen. Now, Deva has his own truth in that when we talk of akinchanatvam and ananyagatitvam that we are talking. This means that Lord's mercy is all in all. But then in the second line, Srila Prabhupada puts a condition that one has to attract the mercy of the Lord by one's sincere endeavors. Lord's mercy may come without attracting also, it is causeless, but still our endeavors are there to attract that grace, to attract that mercy. And yet it is not that because of our endeavors, Lord is forced to give mercy, but yet He is attracted to give that grace because we are aspiring for that. Lord is looking for that. Lord is looking, as we read some time back yesterday, we were reading that the Lord is more eager to help us than we are eager to take His help. So because of His nature of helping His devotee, loving His devotee, being kind to His devotee, because of that nature, He is inclined to give mercy, but to extend that mercy, we have to show Him our sincerity, that we are willing to get that mercy. So that is why within Krishna consciousness, both parts are there. We have to be dependent on the Lord and we have to take responsibility for our practice also. And those who try to become falsely independent of the Lord are called anath, without any guardian. Therefore, we must try to be sanath.
We understand that it said Prabhupada says that sincere devotee mold his life in such a way that he could always think of Krishna.
Yeah, there.
So but it says that sometimes devotees make their own plan of going to dham or chanting more, or sometimes devotees are not available for the services because they want to chant more. They go to out to the dham visit or something. These things are observed.
Mahat Kripa bina kon karma bhakti nahi. Krishna bhakti dure rahu, samsara nahi. So we can go to dham, we can chant more, we can read more, we can do anything. Only thing is we should have the blessings. The moment we lose connection with the blessings and permission of the superiors, then the activity becomes material or consciousness becomes material. It looks superficially like a spiritual, but it becomes material. Srila Narsimha Thakur in one place he says that about Dham visit, he says. Kevala manena brahma, kevala parishrama. Tirtha yatra parishrama, kevala manena brahma. He says that. He himself visited to holy places. He made the place. But when there's no permission, no blessing, no service. Haldar Maharaj, he quotes that he was in Bhubaneswar for so many years. Bhubaneswar to Puri is how much? How much? 1.5 hours. Highway. In Bhubaneswar, whole life. And hardly once, if there was some service, he had gone to Jagannath Puri Yatra, and they were not. He said, no service, why should I go? Wherever there is service, that is where the Lord is there, present for me. So, we never thought, अरे चलो चल क्या जाके आते हैं. Guru Maharaj ने बोला नहीं, Guru Maharaj ने सेवा दिया, वो सेवा कर. So, this is one kind of very strict discipline and very, good standard. At the same time, somebody may feel that, okay, the Lord is there, Rath Yatra is there, demigods are coming, all people from the whole universe are coming, let me also go. But then, that desire is not wrong, because it's a spiritual desire. But it should be sanctioned, it should be blessed. By skipping services, if I go, then I don't gain the benefit. Lord will say, मैं तुमको उधर सेवा दी, तुम इधर आ गया. उधर कौन करेगा? Yeah, because there's a concern, na? Yesterday we were hearing Pranavanand Prabhu talking about very celebrated talk. A lot of interaction with Maharaj, Radhanand Maharaj. So Devanand Maharaj was there in GV and he was serving. And then Radhanand Maharaj used to go to Ayodhya. So he didn't come in the same car. He reached airport directly. So the first thing Maharaj saw him and he went to him and he said, Prabhu, will Devanand Maharaj survive without you? Rather than asking him what happened. He was asking that will Devanand Maharaj survive without you? That means who will render him service? So then he, of course, he explained what arrangement he has done and everything. But I'm saying that we want to please the spiritual master, but the spiritual master is taking anxiety for his God brother service. Then what will happen to that? We were serving there. So he saw him and he was surprised. So similarly, if the spiritual master gives some service, some place to serve, and then we leave that and go there, then God also becomes worried. Because spiritual master, who is the spiritual master? He is the manifested form of Paramatma. Prabhupada writes in the teachings with Sanatana Goswami section in Chaitanya Charitamrita that the same Paramatma who is guiding from within the heart, the same Paramatma manifests in the form of spiritual master without, so that we can access and hear from him directly. So that is why Mahat Kripa Bina Kaunu Karma Bhakti Nahi. Whatever, chanting more round is not bad, going to Dham is not bad, doing any kind of devotional activity is not bad. It will purify us, provided it is under guidance. Without guidance, it will not help. One lecturer said, even if you chant 72 hours a day, I wonder, how I chant 72 hours a day. I don't like that. Some of you heard that? There's one lecturer. Even if you chant 72 hours a day, still you will not make any advancement if you do not have the blessings of your superiors and spiritual masters. Make that point. Because, none of these processes can directly empower and purify a person unless they are administered, unless they are prescribed, unless they are blessed by a devotee. Holy name was all the time there. Mahaprabhu brought the holy name, then why so many upsampradayas came and everything got covered? Gita was always there. Krishna spoke 5,000 years ago. Why people did not take a bead while started chanting? Vrindavan and Mathura and Mayapur, Navadip, they were all the dhams were there. Why people are not visiting them? What was not there? Vrindavan was there. Every temple was there. Everything was there. But these forms of mercy of the Lord, these manifestations of the Lord, cannot do their own prakashan. They cannot advertise themselves. They cannot, exhibit their potency independently. They all depend on the Prakash Vigraha form of the Lord. That Prakash Vigraha form is the devotee. The devotee is empowered to reveal the glories of other forms of the Lord. So when Srila Prabhupada went, then people started coming to bathe in Yamuna and to go for parikrama and like that. Otherwise, it was all there. Right? Ekadashi was coming all the time. How many of us followed Ekadashi? Right? Places were there, tithis were there, holy rivers were there, the holy name was there, the holy Gita and holy Bhagavatam was there. None of them could give their mercy directly to the conditional soul. Only when a devotee comes, Prabhupada wrote the purport. He made the books go out and he told the devotees to distribute. He didn't arrange for chanting of the holy name at every nook and corner of the world. Then these things become potent to give their blessings and purify the conditions. So that is why one has to conduct one's spiritual life under the guidance of a devotee. So that's a very important thing. So those who do that, we can leave them to them because, we are not here to judge anyone unless we are authorized to do that. That's very important because otherwise, by judging, if we find ourselves better than them, then we will go down. Like one devotee asked a question to Maharaj. He said, Maharaj, somehow or other when I chant, I don't feel sleepy, somehow my bodily condition or whatever. I sit and chant all. But when I see others sleeping in japa, then I feel a little bad and I feel why they're doing it. Another Maharaj told, if you are feeling you are better than them and you are more sleepy than them, and if Krishna is merciful, then he'll make you sleep in chanting to make you humble. And otherwise, he will purify you in another way. So anything that makes us feel we are better than others, that's a big deal. So we should do the needful. We can do extra service. We understand if somebody is not there for service, this is Lord's arrangement for me to do that service. One of our God Kirtan Guru left his body in Mukti. So he was asked by one devotee, what you can do, he did, but how much service you can do? He says, all services for all the day, the rest of my life. That's my commitment. I will live, I will sleep, and I will die here. All services, all the days for the rest of my life. This is called commitment. So, Krishna told him, Krishna has his own plan. He wanted to engage others in service. One person will do everything. But this is how things are. Ghanshyam Baba, you know the pastime, some of you have heard that. You are not allowed to lift the bucket also. It will take half an hour to get water. He would have said, somebody else can bring, I will bathe. Sometimes we do not, that's another height. I will dress, you get that. So if there is somebody not functioning at all, we can see what max I can do with our understanding our functions rather than finding fault, blaming. Because we can't change the situation so easily. Many times we are not in that role. So we leave them. Because we were hearing, Bhakti is all powerful. Even if Apiche Sudaracharu, Krishna purified Krishna. So anybody who's in the process, he goes to Dham. And then he'll get purified. Stomach will get upset and some wrong thought will come in mind and he will go through a whole turmoil. Whenever a person deviates from the shelter of the instruction, he will have to go through a lot of physical and mental turmoil, which we may not know. We may think, Acha hai, अच्छा है वृंदावन चला गया भजन कर रहा है, हम लोग यहाँ रगड़ रहे हैं, because we have not also understood the absolute nature of bhakti. Okay, let him do, let him chant, and we will do service. What is it? It's absolute. As long as we are engaged in Krishna service, it's absolute. I was telling you, some Srila Prabhupada disciples, they chant only 16 rounds. And then whole day they are serving Prabhupada, different ways. And they are as advanced as somebody chanting 64 rounds every day and doing other services. So these things are allowed after the personal, after the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, minimum 16 rounds. And other things are depending on people's, their own capacity and their taste also. Right? So, okay, we will adjust our thing. We may also have the capacity to chant more, but the situation requires more service. So we'll do service. And 16 round chanting, morning program, and all. People in companies, they work for 12 to 14 hours. It's a very average working. Some of us who have worked, we know that. It's happened like that. How many hours are you working?
Sometimes.
The last 14. He was the regional head for the entire Karnataka, this company. Or Karnataka plus South. Whole South India. I don't remember. And he was traveling 600 kilometers, he would drive the cars in time to get to another place. So we worked so hard. Can anyone say that pure service, we are doing anything more than 6 or 7 hours a day? No. Any ISKCON devotee, any temple, I would. Yeah. 6, 7 hours, bahut ho gaya. But we have the capacity. People are working with deadline for 10 hours, 12 hours. Every day they are working. Every day they are traveling from here to Hinjawadi 1.5 hours. Coming 1.5 hours. And 10 hours sitting on one chair with back pain, neck pain, tying the belt, doing the spondylitis exercise, and it's still working. And here we get a little slight neck pain, tooth pain is a project. Health treatment. Which big problem we undo? You ask any grasta. The problem for which we give mercy to doctor and change doctor and go doctor of doctor. These things are not noted also. They don't have time. बच्चे का स्कूल है और पत्नी का कुछ और है और जॉब का ये है और माता पिता आ रहे हैं जा रहे हैं उसका शादी है वहां जाना है there's so much into anxiety with so many things that little bit bodily inconvenience doesn't come to the notice also. इतना hard work होता है. Can any one of us say we are working that much hard for Krishna? If anybody works hard, Prabhupada says it takes one sincere soul to run a temple. That since size was small, it will take a few sincere souls, but it's a fact. जितने ऑल्टर है ना उतने पुजारी लगते हैं पुजारी डिपार्टमेंट चलाने के अगर वो सिंसियर है कितना सेवा है पूरे दिन का सेवा मिला के 8 घंटे का तो सेवा होता है 6 आरती ऑफरिंग ड्रेसिंग 8-10 घंटे का तो सेवा है पूरा मिला करके सुबह से शाम तक उसमें भी आदमी जब कर सकता है रेस्ट ले सकता है सब कर सकता है किया है ना in the early days of ISKCON there are not too many pujaris. Radha Maharaj himself served as a pujari for 8 years single pujari at one time he was doing pujari plus cooking. And later on, Chandamali Maharaj came. He was cooking and he was doing all 8 offerings, all morning, evening dressing. So I can tell you, any department in ISKCON, there's so much luxury that if one sincere soul is there saying, my life is for serving the Lord, 10-12 घंटा काम करेगा, बहुत हो जाएगा. बहुत हो जाएगा. कितना है आप पूरा डिपार्टमेंट का लिस्ट बना के देखो कितना चाहिए. कीर्तन कितना घंटे कीर्तन होता है कितना घंटे ऑल्टर खुला रहता है 2 लोग मिलकर उतना कीर्तन कर सकते हैं करते कि नहीं करते उधर 24 आवर कीर्तन में 4-5 घंटे लोग कीर्तन करते 6-7 घंटे कीर्तन सो एनी डिपार्टमेंट यू कैन टेक प्रसाद सर्विंग कितनी बार होता है कुकिंग कितनी देर होता है यू नो दिस आवर डिवोटी Jagat Ishwar or somebody he came so he had come for some other thing he came to Juhu and he saw that the kitchen is so dirty and all and he went to Giraj Maharaj I mean that was Prabhu president and then so dirty he said what to do we do not have any manpower you know if you wish you can stay and so and then he felt one single man from morning till night for deities and devotees cooking whole day for several years you can read in the Juhu memories. So you'll see that if you want to get purified and attain love, it is not going to come by dipping in Radha Kund or becoming Babaji or developing some higher knowledge. Knowledge I'm talking. Just reading something, get it. We have to work hard. Because this is for pleasing Krishna, it is not for ourselves. You're not working out of passion. One single man, you're telling a schedule. Morning you'll get up and then prepare the bhoga for the deities, then you cook for the devotees, then you will clean the kitchen, clean the vessels. There were no cleaner also that time. Around 25 devotees. 25 डिवोटी कम नहीं होता है 25 डिवोटी का वॉइस होता है तो 2 लगते हैं एक कुक लगते हैं एक असिस्टेंट लगते हैं है कि नहीं 25 के लिए विल डू इट And then somebody will assist in purchasing something, he'll come. And this is not for, some week or something. 2 to 3 years he did that. So when people sacrifice the time, energy with the spirit of pleasing the Lord without finding fault with others, then the heart becomes purified. We have to be really convinced and take it deep in our heart that spiritual realization cannot be achieved. It cannot be pulled down. It cannot be like, like any amount of knowledge. Nayam Atma Pravachane na labdhyo. Not by giving promotion, not by hearing, not by. It is only by attracting the mercy of the Lord by our sincere service attitude. When we apply ourselves, sacrifice everything what we have in the direction, in the line of pleasing Guru and Krishna, then Krishna gives mercy and the revelation comes from within. It is not a matter of whether we have to know things and we realize. No, revelation directly is brought from within. We give the example of Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, illiterate. But he knew everything about Radha Krishna Lila. The South Indian Brahmana, reading Bhagavad Gita and, experiencing the love of Krishna. So please understand, it's not a function of our intellectual abilities of how much we know and how much we know the entry cases, how much commentaries we know, how much we know details of pastimes. These are all at a mental level. Somebody with a good memory can memorize everything and speak. It's oratorship. It can be an expression of bhakti and it may not be an expression of bhakti. It may be simple art also. So many public speakers speak in such a way will be spellbound. And they are speaking to thousands of people at one time. Here, Bhagavatam class, people fall in front, right in front, still we think we are very good speakers. So these are all skills. When we become fully convinced that I am a servant of Krishna, serving Krishna in my life and soul, and I will do whatever is required. If I have time, I'll chant more, read more. If I don't have time, service is there, something is required, I will do that. And others, let them do. What Radha Maharaj says, what is the consciousness of HOD or a devotee or any leader? He says, leader understands that the entire responsibility of the service lies on him. That means if somebody is a manager, he has to understand that everything has to be managed by him alone only. Nothing delegation. But then if somebody comes and is able to delegate something, he says, imagine you are carrying 5 bags going to station and somebody comes and says, थोड़ा मदद करता हूँ, 1 बैग ले लेते तो आप बोलेंगे 1 ही बैग लेगा क्या 4 बैग करके अरे आपका वजन है आपको कैरी करना है वो 1 बैग भी लेके जा रहे तो आप थैंक यू बोलेंगे ना बस थोड़ी बोलेंगे 4 बैग कौन लेगा तो आया किसके लिए no, it's your responsibility. So similarly, when we are given a responsibility, the entire thing lies on us. So any person, any second person comes and does anything, we only have one feeling, gratitude. मुझे 6 आरती करना था 1 आरती आपने किया समय मिला सबके लिए प्रसन्न हुए. That's all. That's the ideal standard he told for any leader. Every part of the service is his personal responsibility. But if somebody comes to share it, then he feels grateful. So that's how we can be grateful for whatever service devotees are able to do. And then whatever managerial has to be done, has to be done. I'm not against that. But I'm saying consciousness-wise, they should be the conscious. Ananta Acharya was digging, and he was digging a big lake. There was no JCB. It took around 200 people 2 years to dig a water pond in Belgaum. They made in that Gokul Dham. 2 साल तक वो कितना लेबर था हर दिन 50-60 लेबर लगता खोद के निकाल. And now also if you see that Kunda is quite big, maybe it was smaller that time. Pushkarani which is made. And he was digging and his wife was carrying. And they were not laborer class people. Ananda Acharya was a great scholar. And this is a service given to me by Guru. And Balaji came, he said, I just help. Just help at least put the mud out. He said, no, this is service given to me. Don't come in between me and my service. You know the person, no? Then the child came and Ananda hit. And that is the cut, what you see. So that is how I should feel it. My spiritual master accepted me as a servant. The Lord has accepted me as a servant. And that consciousness, actually, we experience higher taste. Otherwise, the higher rasa's look very good, but you have to know what is the path to access them. And you see the people who have accessed them. What is their lifestyle? How has their life been? A life of hard work. Prabhupada did not want anybody in ISKCON to be lazy and crazy. He writes in his purports. You have not opened this institution for lazy people. People should not go to farm for becoming lazy. Like that also he writes. Because, farm life is a little more simpler. Everyone should work hard in Krishna service. And he made that schedule. Morning, do 9:30. Till now in US temple, the same schedule is followed. 9:30, they go out for Sankirtan with books in hand and van, and come back at 5 o'clock, take prasad, take milk, do the Gaur Arati and Bhagavad Gita class, and can take it. Till now. In India, because of contextual thing of congregation preaching, many department services and all this, little different, but this still different. Hard work. And those who could do that hard work with the right mood, now they are great souls. Now they are spiritual masters and they are giving shelter to so many hundreds and thousands of devotees. Who has not worked hard? Every person has worked at ground level. Anybody who is playing the role of the spiritual master today, to see their life in ISKCON, they started from a very humble demeanor of working things themselves. Prabhupada himself is the founder Acharya, what he was doing in Delhi. He was carrying the paper on his head. Sometimes the gullies were so small, the rickshaw will not go. He was carrying, as a sannyasi, he was carrying the paper on his head to go and give to the printing press. So founder Acharya doing that. He's going in the heat of the, Delhi in May and June. Now also it's intolerable here. Going out and distributing that back to God. So founder Acharya set the example, then what else we can? Right? So we should not be too much worried about what others do or not do. We should see that, what is the level of our commitment of service. Do that. And that will help us to become stable and attract the mercy of the Lord. Because, along with the sadhana, we are not saying to compromise on the sadhana, but apart from sadhana, then this is very nice. Another thing, Prabhupada said, all the members of the Pandavas were, my God, it's 11 o'clock. Anyway, I have to go to airport, so I can't extend. So half an hour. So all the members of the Pandava family were Mahatmas in household life. So one should take the lessons from Srimad Bhagavatam. One should not criticize the family life. Grahamedi life is different. But just like the Grahamedi, we can be Matamedi also. Not that we are pure brahmachari descending from Satyuga. We are also, 10,000 light years away from the standard of ideal brahmachari. Correct? What is the brahmachari? Yajna says that, he says, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Keli. He says 8 things he provided. Some things are at a physical level, something are at a mental level, something are at a vocal level. All 3. Now, definitely at the physical level, we all avoid. Vocal level, we try to avoid. But mental level, how many of us can say we are? That is the standard of Brahma. That's what the definition of Brahma is. So we should not be, critical about Grasthas. They have their own struggles. We have nothing to give them. Just encourage them that they are struggling and giving donation, and that's why we are here. We are not going out and collecting every day. They are giving their hard-earned money. So one should have respect for them. One should not say, Shastra say Grahamedi. Well, they may be whatever, but we have to say our standard also. We are also Matamedi, not, true Matavasi. So one is very careful about that. Because in Kali Yuga, it's very common to not see oneself, but to point out finger on others. But when you point out finger on others, the 3 fingers are pointing here. Is it not interesting? When you show 1 finger to other, normal codes, 3 fingers. So that's why you want to be very careful. It's Kali Yuga is the age when we see fault everywhere because there are faults. Kaled Dosha. Ocean, what will you find? Water. Doshanidhi means what? Ocean of? Kaled Doshanidhi. Doshanidhi means what?
Ocean of faults.
Ocean of fault, like Krishna Rasanidhi, the ocean of Rasa. Doshanidhi. So Doshanidhi means ocean में बीच में जाके यूरेका आई फाउंड सम फॉल्ट. अरे फॉल्ट के ओशन में क्या मिलेगा? सागर में आके बोल देखो पानी मिल गया, 1 glass पानी मिला. पूरा सागर में पानी भरा हुआ है. What is 1 glass of water? So nothing new, nothing glorious, nothing wonderful in seeing fault. But glorious to see fault in oneself and appreciate others for whatever good. Very, very important. So they are Mahatmas in the family order. You see? It is not only the Pandavas who are put into the condition of enmity, but all of us are always in such a condition. The best way of living is to become completely dependent on the will of the Lord and thereby overcome all difficulties of material existence. So how do we understand will of the Lord? Not that what our mind says is the will of the Lord. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Whatever decision you want to take, you have to calibrate with this. What does Shastra say? What Prabhupada has said? What my Guru has said? What my immediate superiors are saying? Then one has to come to a conclusion. So then next verse, hearing this, Krishna is saying, Bhima and Arjuna, yourselves are very powerful. Yudhishthira is Dharma personified, and Yadavas are your friend. You have no worries. Kunti Manani says this verse together. No? Kevayam
As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once.
So, Lord's glance is what gives life. In Bhagavatam, we read also how Lord's glance gives life. When the cowherd boys, when they were there at the bank of river Yamuna and Kaliyada, they all died and Lord just glanced at them. Even when they went inside Agasur, Lord just glanced and revived them. So Lord's glance gives life. And when the living spirit goes, then, that verse is there, no? Mandanam Lokaranjanam. Prana, Prane,
Bhagavad Bhakti
Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya,
Jati Shastra
Jati Shastra,
Japasta
Japas Tapas,
Pranasya Hidayasya
Apranasya Hidayasya, Mandanam Lokaranjanam. So Mandanam Lokaranjanam, there's no prana, then what to do with that? So similarly, all one's fame and activities, they get over when the Lord glance is not there, merciful glance is not there. So Kunti was aware that the existence of Pandava is only due to Krishna only. Without the guidance of Krishna, all of them are non-entities as much as the senses of the body are useless. So no one should be proud of his prestige, power and fame without being guided by the favor of the Lord. So for temporary period, people may become famous, but who cares? In this planet, somebody may be world's richest man. Now you know who's the richest man? You see, we're 20 here. We don't know who's the richest man in the world. So how does it matter whoever he may be? It does not know. But if you see the devotees of the Lord, like Hanumanji, now you go, Bharat ka bacha bacha. So that is real fame. The real fame is with the devotees only, not with the karmic people. They may become famous for some time in their circle. You go to the forest of Africa and ask, who is Sachin Tendulkar? Pata nahi, khane ka dish hai kya? Who knows that? So people have fame in their own mind, but the real fame is of the devotees of the Lord. Virat Maharaj is famous, and in this material world, this Prithvi Loka is an insignificant part. But there are 13 other lokas where demigods are staying, and the fame of the devotees is spread through Bhuvana. Eva Yash Bhushuk Tribhuvan. That is the real fame. And that is why without connection with the Lord, everything is temporary, as much as the body without the soul doesn't last. Okay. Neyam so vishate tatra yathe dhanim gadad tvatpade rakita mati swarakshana.
Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked over impressions of your lotus feet, of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so.
So the real beauty of the kingdom is the marking of the lotus feet of the Lord. Now you go to Vrindavan, Charan Pahad is there at 2-3 places. People go see the impressions of the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, when we decorate the body with the tilak, they are the real decoration, not the gold and silver and all the cosmetics. So the marks of a flag, thunderbolt, instrument to drive an elephant, gourd, umbrella, lotus trees, they're all on the bottom of the Lord's lotus feet. So land of Hastinapur was thus marked with Lord Shri Krishna when he was there with Pandavas, and thus it was flourishing. Kunti Devi pointed out the distinguished features and was afraid of ill luck in the absence of the Lord. Ime Janapada Surdha Supakra Sajivirudha Manadrin Abhyaman Bodham Netam Vikshata.
all these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are full, the mills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them.
Yeah. So Lord glance over the Prakriti makes the Prakriti flourish with all these things. So human prosperity flourishes by natural gift and not by gigantic industrial enterprise. They just destroy mining, such a thing. They go down in the earth, digging the earth and big mines. A huge thing, Ugra Karma. And in the ocean, they go and they drill and take out the oil and the gas out of it, making everything such huge thing. So this is not the real advancements. It's not the real prosperity. It's not like petrol and diesel, all these things. These are the natural gifts which are to be used in service of the Lord.
This, why it is called Karma so severely means?
They're exploiting Mother Earth. No? See, whatever is meant for the human civilization, that is already there on the surface. One can find it without digging so deep. But then to take out the coal and take out the gas and do that, it's Ugra Karma. It's huge, industrial work. Mining was there earlier also. Because when Narad Muni is walking through, he says, I came across mines. But there are no industry, no machines. You see, even now, when you hear a machine of that drill machine or something, agitate the mind. But if you take the hammer and the chisel, what earlier the carpenter used to use, even if you hear it, it doesn't cause such a. I mean, scientists have done the study that how it affects that cut, pit was like, okay, tolerable, sir. डेसिबल लेवल में टॉलरेंट था और थोड़ा रिदम में भी ऐसा लगता था कोई ढक ढक कोई ढोलक बजा रहा अभी अक्सर very irritating. So these are all Ugra Karma. They are very agitating. Understand? And then people were engaged, ना? खेती भी आप देखो, बैल से खेती करो तो बैल भी चल रहा है, वो भी जा रहा है, हल भी जा रहा है और हल खोदेगा इतना, ट्रैक्टर आएगा पूरा 2 फीट नीचे से मिट्टी को उखाड़ देगा. So these are all destructive activities, but they're all part of the same. The more we attempt to exploit material nature, according to Arvind Enjoyment, the more we shall become entered by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. People think that they are enjoying by doing that, but then what is happening in this world? Corona came and everything was shut down, and now also there's so much pollution of all kinds. In Delhi, there's a whole pollution layer. Nobody can follow the principle of no intoxication. Everyone is smoking. Somebody is smoking extra. Somebody otherwise is smoking. Breathing is smoke. Everyone, so much. And in the winter season, there is fog. They call it smog. And nothing is visible till like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. People are already seeing the consequences. And so many diseases because of eating poison. So Prabhupada says minerals are produced in the hill, jewels are there in the ocean. Human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewel, water. Then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprise at the cost of labor of some unfortunate man? So these are all, symptoms of this age. Both your departure from here and coming here are unfortunate. Departure for Pandavas, coming here for Yadavas. Telling Yadavas are friend. So now she's saying, oh, if you come here, we are happy, but Yadavas are unhappy. And if you go from here, we are unhappy, Yadavas are happy. So what do you do? So, this is a very famous one. Atha Vishvesha Vishwatman Vishwamurte Swakeshi Sneha Pasha Mamantandi. Cut the ties of affection with Pandus and Vishnus. Krishna says, oh, you want to cut down the ties of affection that means you want to attain the impersonal Brahma realization. So they cut down all the ties of affection. No. I want to cut down the tie of affection at a material level. I want to see them as your devotees, not as my relatives and my sons. Now I see them, these are my sons who are devotees of the Lord. But I want to see them, these are devotees of the Lord who are my sons. These are devotees of the Lord who are my relatives. Not that my relatives are devotees, but devotees are my relatives. Subtle difference. And in that context, our Maharaj, Bhakti Ashray, Bhakti Vaishnava, Ashray Vaishnava Maharaj was telling that how when the girl gets married, she related to everyone. This is father-in-law, this is brother-in-law, or husband to wife, this is mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, cousin-in-law. But they don't say that, wife doesn't say that husband-in-law. There's nothing called husband-in-law. It says husband is the law. Husband is the law. Because there's a connection with husband, that's why there are in-laws. So similarly, Kundima is saying that let my connection be with you, and on the basis of connection with you, let there be connection with everyone else through you. So that's why she's praying for, and Prabhupada writes a very beautiful purport.
O Lord of the universe.
What?
O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection for my kingdom, the Pandavas and the Buddha.
Pure devotee ashamed to ask anything in self-interest from the Lord, but the householder is sometimes obliged to ask favors from the Lord, being bound by the ties of family affection. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, therefore she prayed to the Lord to cut off the affection tie from her own kinsmen, Pandavas and Krishna. So, all these partialities troubling the mind of Kunti, therefore she desired to cut off affection. Proper writing. Pure devotee cuts off the limited ties of affection for his family and widens his activities of devotional service for all forgotten souls. So he cut down his immediate affection for family member, is not able to pay so much attention, what they may want him to do. Every mother will want his brahmachari son to get at least married to 3 girls 3 times. Compensate, Brahmachari mothers, they want the brahmachari to get married so many times. General mothers will get the sons to get married 1 time only, but brahmachari mothers keep on following up so much. Right? As if they want them to get married multiple times. So one may not be able to satisfy all, but that is for the purpose of widening activity of devotional service. And the typical example is the band of 6 Goswamis. Band. Generally the band of band of 6 Goswamis. For the benefit of the mass of the population, they left their comfortable home and became mendicant. To cut off all family affection means to broaden the field of activities. Without doing so, no one can be qualified to become a Brahmana, king, a public leader, or a devotee of the Lord. And Ramchandra is the ideal leader. Cut off the tie of affection for his beloved wife to manifest the qualities of an ideal king. So these personalities must be very broad-minded in discharging their respective duties. So that's why she is praying to the Lord. And it is sometimes experienced that the Lord, out of his special affinity toward a weak devotee, breaks the family affection by force of circumstance, arranged by his all-powerful energy. By doing so, he causes the devotee to become completely dependent on him, and thus clears the path for his going back to Godhead. And this proper writing with his own heart, because he's experiencing that. All the the list of names. One lecture there, clipping is there. You might have seen. He's only Gaurav Maharaj. When devotee is asking question, Maharaj, how do we? I don't feel attraction for Krishna. How do I? Don't feel attracted to Krishna? You feel attracted to Maya? I will tell Krishna to tell Maya to kick you. Wife will kick you. Relatives will kick you. Then you will you are attracted to Krishna. Maya will kick you. Then you will be attracted. Some of you see?
Yes.
Very famous. So sometimes the force of circumstance is such that even a person want to keep everything just a list of them. They reject. Like the Davanti Brahmana. Everyone rejected. The friend rejected him, the family members rejected him. Yasyaham anugrahanami arishayat dattana. Brahmachari will say, we have left everything, what will we give up? Radhana Maharaj says, for brahmacharis, when Krishna has to purify him through this verse, then guess what?
He made it into Maya.
He
made it again into Maya and
no, not that. The brahmachari has to pay because they don't have, na. Already no bank balance, no money. What is that? Rasta. It's trying to take away all the money, all the things. We don't have children, parents are in their own world, we don't have anything.
You change the seva.
That is the Maharaj says that if Krishna had to purify someone with that, and he just, sometimes he take away our services. And sometimes he turns away everyone against us. It plays with our image. Good brahmachari. Prabhuji, aapse umeed nahi. Image of a brahmachari, na? Prestige of a brahmachari, the pride of being a brahmachari. Krishna totally pulverizes it. So that becomes very painful. You will not have money, you will not have wealth, you will not have children and wife and this and that. But then Yasyaham anugrahanami means whatever image we have, whatever our idea we have about our being a good brahmachari, Krishna just does something and purify us, and then he said, my dear Lord, I'm done with, I don't want to be good Brahmachari, this or that, I just want to be your servant. You are the Lord and Master, and I'm an insignificant person living in one corner of the ashram. Not that I'm the leader or anything. So Krishna purifies in that. Makes one happy. Then do you want realization of Brahman? Because if you cut your affection for the Yadavas, you will cut your affection for me also. But this is again another sense. Tvai me ananya vishaya mate madhupate sakrit ratim udvahata dadha gam udhamvati.
Lord of Madhu, and the Ganges forever flow to the sea without hindrance. Let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anything else.
Perfection of devotional service attained when all attention is diverted toward the transcendental loving service of the Lord. There's a stage which is called, what is the fourth thing? Kleshagni, Subhata, Sandrananda Visheshatma. When the attention is so focused, nothing can interfere. Nothing of this world can make an entry into the consciousness of the world. Sandra Ananda Visheshatma. Just like no needle can enter a metal piece, like there's a steel plate, you can put a needle there. No? There's a paper plate, you can put a needle. Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, the consciousness becomes so focused at the stage of Ruchi or rather Asakti. One's attention naturally goes to the Lord. One doesn't know what is happening in this world. Asakti. The Lord's form, Lord's glories, they make permanent residence in the mind and heart of the devotee. To cut off the tie of all other affection does not mean complete negation of the final element like affection of someone else. This is not possible. The symptom of life, such as desire, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. And that is why there are 12 rasas. Those 12 rasas only are visible in this material world. Whether any Hindi movie, English movie you take, it's all about rasa only. Sometimes there's a virya rasa, sometimes there's a suspense, sometimes there's a romance. But all this is perverted. So we are not Gyanis and Mayavadis say all rasa has to be finished. It has to be just transformed. Right now we are relishing the shadow thing. If shadow thing is so attractive, so enchanting, people go mad. There was a boy, I mean, brother of a boy who comes for a program. So online he met some girl, and he just typed in something, I don't know which softwares are there. Some chat, maybe WhatsApp chat or something. Never saw her, never met her. Just on WhatsApp, maybe some voice message, whatever communication was going. 6 months later, the girl ditched. The girl went away. This boy has become mad. It's an educated boy, graduate boy, working in a company. Now he can't work in a company, can't live at home. He has to be treated for psychiatric problem. So this much affection within 6 months. Just see the power of shadow affection. Shadow of shadow. Nothing like there's no physical contact of just shadow of just a virtual connection. Like college days, sometimes those days are very primitive. Some chat thing was there, and you can see who all are there online. Click someone. So sometimes the boys will go, and they will take very attractive girls name. They'll put in the login, and they will chat all the stupid things, and then they'll come back in the hostel and say, "I just going to the book." And, he's just writing, smiling out loud, and "Baat kiya usne? Acha baat kiya." So like that they'll fool. So. But the soul is so much looking for emotions. So soul is so much looking for rasa. Because rasa always Krishna is full of rasa. One is looking for rasa. Anandamaya abhyasa. Nothing can be done. It's the nature of the soul. That is why the desire to merge into Brahman is Kevala Narkayate. That is why it is called a spiritual society. Because something which is full of rasa, which want rasa, and then you deprive him of that rasa, that is suicide. So that rasa has to be positively directed. And that is the path of bhakti. Path of bhakti is the path of positively directing the rasa. Somebody went to Kashmir, he was sending me photos. He said, it is anywhere heaven. It is in Kashmir. Material world के अंदर material elements से अगर ये beauty manifest होता है, the fir trees, ice-covered mountains, the flowing river, it's like photo देख के भी मैं भी थोड़ा अच्छा है, really good. So अगर ऐसा material element भिन्न प्रकृतिर अष्टधा भिन्न, Prabhupada says this is a stool of the Supreme Lord. Metal energy is Bhinna, just to give an example. You know, Prabhupada said that you are beautiful. He wrote to the reporter, you are beautiful, your stool is not beautiful. So sometimes the material energy in one way is a shadow, but in one context he says it like it's reactive, na Bhinna. It is separated energy. It is not. If that looks so attractive, that can you imagine that what will be Chintamani word? What is the verse of Brahma Samhita? The first Chintamani Sakala Sattva Sukalpa Gaksho Laksha Vratesu Suravi Ravipaliyanta Lakshmi Sahasra Sat Sambhava Seviman. What will be that word like? Just that's what Prabhupada says. One should be captivated by hearing the attention of hearing the description of the spiritual world. इस दुनिया में ऐसा whatever attracts us over a period of time it becomes pale. जैसे हमको वीडियो दिखाते हैं that face, attractive looking face looks nice, and then you see a very dangerous face. Old age face, na? You've seen that in Device 5. Substance and shadow will show that. It's a reality.
Yeah.
If still we are attracted, then can you imagine the ever increasing beauty of the spiritual world, what it will be like? So this positive inspiration is the force to become detached from matter. That is Vaishnava way. Jnani way is to there is a positive beauty. This is just a reflection of that, it's a shadow of that. So we don't become averse to shadow, but we know it's a shadow. We are increasing our attraction to the original. Only the objective has to be changed. The so-called affections for family, society, country, etc. consider different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. And he gives the example Arjuna refusing to fight and then he is fight. Prayers of Queen Kunti also indicate the same categorical change in activities. For oneself, from oneself, to the change of pleasure of the Lord. So that is the main thing. So Kunti knew that Lord cannot be loved without devotee. That's why she wanted to love Pandavas and Yadavas, but in connection with the Lord, not in connection with the bodily relationship. When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, she means to cut off the relation of the skin. This relation of the soul to soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with the super soul. So similarly, sometimes we'll ask how to develop deep relationship with devotee. Deep relationship with devotee is possible only when you have a deep relationship with the Supreme Lord. The Lord is the center. So the more we advance in our affection for the Lord, the more we will make progress in our relation with the devotee. Because devotee, who is a devotee? Who is serving Krishna is a devotee. So when Krishna is our object of pleasure, then whoever is serving Krishna is very dear to us. Right? Very natural. No? We want to please Krishna, somebody else is pleasing Krishna. Where is the question of competition? We are trying to please Krishna. Somebody else comes and pleases Krishna. We are very grateful to him because our goal is achieved.
So we told about the seva. And Ghanshyam Baba was doing one seva and he would not allow others to do that seva. What is that concept?
We have not heard that pastime. No?
I heard past time, I know that, but still
No,
that
we are saying that when we are doing some seva, given some seva, then we should feel very grateful that I have the opportunity to render that seva. And we should not look forward for that when somebody will come and take it away, or when I will delegate it to someone. So in an institution, we do have to delegate because we can't do everything. But the mood is that it's my service. But because I can't do everything, he could do it. It took him time. So he did not compromise with that. But the spirit should be same, that everything what is there is given to me, this particular service. But if some assistance is given, some help is given, that is extra mercy. And I'm grateful for that. And even if there is some shortcoming, we don't feel that, oh, I deserve it and why it is not given, I become disturbed. I understand it's my service. And somebody comes and help me, I'm grateful. Nobody comes and help me, I will continue to do that part. So that mood of gratitude is there for having the service. The service is valued. So that is the service is valued and the opportunity is valued. But as I'm telling in an institution setup, sometimes things have to be managed. So I'm not against management doing the needful, but I'm saying spirit should be this. Because even within an institution, our devotion and our spirit or our attitude does not get institutionalized. The way of working may get institutionalized, but our feelings, our emotions, our devotion, they do not get institutionalized. We should not allow them to get institutionalized. Right? Like as I was telling yesterday, I was asking the question. Within an institution, somebody does something wrong, then we have to deal with it and see that the things are set, discipline is set, people's faith is not disturbed. But at an individual level, we are still ready to give him whatever help we can give. And we still are his well-wisher and we pray for him and do that part. Because otherwise it will become very difficult. If we also take some delight in that, then we will be very find it difficult. Now from Pune, different points of time, I have been into management from 2007 onward, 6 onward almost. So there are quite a few devotees we have removed for certain reasons. And now they are taking shelter from many other temples. And when you go there, you meet them. And they are doing good service there. But whatever the reason, now if we, and many times I was the one to communicate to them and execute whatever is ordered. So it has to be executed. But the way you execute, wait, 10 minutes wait. So the way you execute it is a very important thing. Because later you go to their temples and mix poison in the food and give. यही है किसी ने मुझे निकाला था किसी ने मुझे गाली दिया था किसी ने मुझे धक्का दिया था So what Mahaprasad then? You have to know that they are not going out of the universe. They are going out of this one temple. So we have to explain to them what is the reason. We have to tell them this is the stand. What is their mistake? They may agree, they may accept, not accept, they may be upset naturally. But still, if you have a good heart, then they will not blame it. They will understand it later, and the relationship will remain. That is individual responsibility. You know, what we have to do is sometimes dictated, but how do we do it is individual responsibility. So individual attitude is our personal choice. It has nothing to do with the institution and whatever the service and other things are there. Attitude is our own personal matter. It's between us and our Guru and the Lord. So services may be anything. But doesn't mean that we have to become harsh, we have to become hard, we have to criticize people. No, that's not required. Not required. Sometimes we do feel like that. If I'm in charge, then I have to be like tough, I have to be hard. Not required. What it requires is to be honest, clear, and firm. That's all. You have to be honest what is there and clearly communicate. Prabhu, this is the way things have to be done. This is how you do it. That's all. And sometimes that also has to be seen in reference. Somebody senior, then even to become firm becomes difficult. So one has to choose when to be really firm. If there is a very critical thing, you have to be firm. But there is something in between, then for seniors, there is a leniency. You may not challenge them like what you may tell them. So all these fine etiquettes are there between Vaishnavas and should be followed, because otherwise one may end up in offending people and get disturbed. You see, Uddhava was inquired by Vidura, and Uddhava said, no, whatever I know, Maitre Muni also knows. He was also with me. You go to him. Prabhupada, right, this is Maryada Vyatikram. But sometimes we are told to give class, Prabhupada disciples are there and all. We have to give class, but not in the mood of enlightening them, but it's the mood of, seeking their blessing. That's very important. Okay, together. Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Krishna Rishama Rajanya Vamsa Bhakti Govinda Yogi. So Mother Kunti is now doing Nam Kirtan. Is calling Krishna with different names. Is calling Krishna, friend of Arjuna, chief among descendants of Vrishni, and she's offering her final obeisances to the Lord. So this is the mood of Kunti. Culmination of her prayers, Ajiv Goswami says, rejecting the affection based on relationship with family members, and then praying for attachment of the Lord, like the river of kindness, and she recognizes affection for dear devotees since they have affection for him. So then she is calling Krishna in relation with his devotees. Even Bhishmadev also at the end, he is calling Krishna as the Lord of the Gopis, remembering the Gopis. So Krishna loves them, and if we love them, we remember them, Krishna love will come for us also. Damodar Ashtakam also, Satyavrata Muni. Namaste Sudamne Surat Dipti Damne Swadiyo Darayat Vishwasudamne Namo Radhikaya. No, Radharani's name comes when Krishna is alert. Whatever else we hear. Namo Radhikaya Tadiyo Praya. Namo Ananta Leelaya. That Ananta Leela is what? That is Ras Leela. It's paying obeisances to Ras Leela. So because Ras Leela is the most favorite pastime of the Lord, Radharani is the most dear devotee, that's it. So now Sutta Goswami continues, and he says that Lord, hearing the prayer of Kunti Devi, composed in choice word for his glorification, mildly smiled. That smile was enchanting as a mystic power. So he smiled and he approved of the prayers, he accepted the prayers. So the word Maya is used both in the sense of delusion and mercy. Here in the word Maya is used in the sense of God's mercy upon Kunti Devi. And Vishnu Dev said Lord was bewildered by her prema, not her metal. So then he says, accepting the prayers of Srimati Kunti Devi, the Lord subsequently informed other ladies of his departure, entering the palace of Hastinapur. So he went, he did not stop back. He went in the palace, he informed everyone. But when he was preparing to leave, he was stopped by King Yudhishthir Maharaj. That means Yudhishthir's bond was even more stronger than Kunti's bond. Kunti also told, my dear Lord, you are going now. Lastly, she said, let my affection flow toward you like the Ganges flow toward the ocean. So that he accepted all that. But then Yudhishthira said, no, you stay for some more days. And then Lord could not deny his proposal. And that's why he extended his stay for some more days. So then while staying, the Lord has to do some pastime. So he says, Vyas Adhyar Ishware Agya Krishnena Adbhut Karmana. Now he does another Adbhut Karmana. What is Adbhut Karmana? That he puts Yudhishthira Maharaj into depression. So King Yudhishthira Maharaj very much agreed. And then somebody agreed, then somebody does counseling. Right? Somebody depressed, confused, bewildered. That counselor comes in picture and says, हम भी इसी फेस से गए होता है आता है नई चीज नहीं है भक्ति में ये स्टेज आता है निकल जाएगा तो so then Vyasadeva was there. Vyasadeva is convincing. He is a literary incarnation of the Lord. Krishna himself is convincing him. And his Harir Adbhut Karmana. What is Adbhut Karmana? Adbhut Karmana is this, that Vyasadeva is convincing, he's convincing, and he's only going inside as Paramatma and saying, don't get confused. That is Adbhut Karmana. He's convincing, but not allowing him to get convinced from within the heart. So that is the Adbhut Karmana. So Maharaj Yudhishthira has many reasons, he says. This is the interpretation is that the Lord as Ishwara was the super soul in the heart of both King Yudhishthira and Vyasa performed still more superhuman action because the Lord desired it. As the super soul of King Yudhishthira did not allow the king to be convinced by the word of Vyasa and others, including himself. Why? So he said, because he desired that the king hear instruction from the dying Bhishmadev, was another great devotee of the Lord, and let it be proven that whatever Vyasadeva could not do with all his knowledge of the Vedas and everything, whatever Krishna could not do, that Bhishmadev could do. That goes to show that the knowledge of Bhishmadev and the convincing power of Bhishmadev, the devotion of Bhishmadev is even greater than Vyasadeva and Krishna. That is Harir Adbhut Karma. You see? Besides that, the Lord also desired that King Yudhishthira be pacified by the word of Bhishmadev so that the word could see that Bhishmadev excelled all in knowledge, including the Lord himself. This is Christian Adbhut Karmana. So, now again, Yudhishthira Maharaj, loss of discrimination, that confusion is being described here. King Yudhishthira, son of Dharma, overwhelmed by the death of his friend, was aggrieved just like a common materialistic man. O sage, thus deluded by affection, he began to speak. He was not expected to do like that, but he became deluded by the worldly affection by the will of the Lord. Just like Arjuna was deluded. Parishit Maharaj was deluded. He put the snake. He was punishing Kali for hurting a cow and a bull. And the same king is putting a snake around the neck of the sage. Why? Because he was deluded by the Lord. So all this was perfectly known to Maharaj Parishit, but by the will of the Lord, he became just like a common man because there was another great idea behind the delusion. The king would be instructed by Vishmadev, as Arjuna was instructed by the Lord. So now Yudhishthira Maharaj is speaking in the last 4 verses. He is lamenting, just like Arjuna gave 4 reasons for not fighting the war, 5 reasons he gave. And here Yudhishthira Maharaj is giving 4 reasons that why he is to be condemned and why the war was his personal sense gratification. So he says that, I am the most sinful man, just see my heart which is full of ignorance. This body, which is ultimately meant for others, has killed many, many phalanxes of man. So Prabhupada gives a definition of an akshoni. One solid phalanx has this many chariot, elephant, infantry, and cavalry. This is called akshoni. So he said that because of my sinful nature, my ignorance, so many people are killed. And the second, he says that I have killed many boys, brahmanas, well-wishers, friends, parents, preceptors, and brothers. So the sin of that will come on. Krishna Arjuna also gave the reason. I'll get sinful if I kill them. Because all the male members of the society are killed. So that is the second thing in lamenting, that sin will come upon me. And then third, he says that there is no sin for a king who kills for the right cause. But I killed Duryodhana. Duryodhana was maintaining his citizens, but still, for the sake of my gaining the power, I killed Duryodhana to usurp the kingdom. Although this was Lord desired that Yudhishthira become the king, but Yudhishthira in his own humility is thinking, Duryodhana was doing good. Now, what was the problem? Would have continued. But I wanted to gain the kingdom for myself. That's why I killed. And lastly, he says that I have killed many friends of women because male members are killed, na? And I have thus caused enmity to such an action that it is not possible to undo it by material welfare work. By doing welfare work, it is not possible. Like Ashwamedha Yajna, one may perform. But there also, it cannot be purified by the sin of killing the innocent people. And he gives the example. Just like the pot of wine cannot be cleaned with wine. Wine se clean karna, wine se kaise clean. So like that, the result of killing innocent people cannot be nullified by killing another animal. So that is not possible to nullify this by material welfare work. That's what he is saying here. But it was not at all true. But then Yudhishthira Maharaj is presenting Shushka Tarka here. In this last verse, he's saying, Yatha Pankena Pankabhya. From the mud pot cannot be cleaned. Suraya va Surakritam. The pot of Sura cannot be cleansed by Sura only. Similarly, whatever killing I have done, it is not possible to counteract the killing by sacrificing animals. And Prabhupada often that quotes that Yajna was performed to check the hymns, but in Kali Yuga, there is no Yajna, only there is one Yajna, that is Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam. Hare Nam Yajna is the only Yajna. We are not interested in killing the animal, we are interested in chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of first canto, 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled is Prayers by Kunti and Parikshit Maharaj. So, thank you very much, Pranjal Prabhu and Trivikram Bandhu Prabhu, for your kind attention, and all the devotees here for your kind
Hare
attention.
Krishna, so we are very grateful for Prabhu that he took out his available, so much available time, you can see. Hare Krishna,
हाँ बोलिए
हमारी क्लास खत्म हो गई, काट दिया उन्होंने।
काट के
ठीक है।